Satnam and welcome. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another program in our continuing series, HomeKirtan&Chat. And I am very happy to welcome today's guest, known to many of you, but perhaps new to some of you. This is Taren Kaur, or Taren Kaur UK, which is often the way people refer to you, I think, if I'm not wrong. And Taren Kaur is an up-and-coming, emerging, and yet very important voice in the UK and around the world in the Sikh community, reaching out actually beyond the Sikh community with her songwriting, but she is also known for Gurbani Kirtan, and she is bringing a lot of new energy to this, and I think inspiring people around the world with her voice. So we're going to start right off before we start talking with Taren Kaur with some music. And today Taren Kaur has chosen to share with us the Shabad Nanak Attenti. And she's going to sing that now, and then we'll talk about that Shabad among other things after that. So please enjoy Taren Kaur with this Shabad.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. Oh Nanak, don't be anxious. The Lord God, Waheguru, will take care of you. He created the creatures in water, and He gives them their nourishment. He created them in the oceans, and He provides for them as well. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. Jal mein jant payan, tena bhiroji de. Jal mein jant payan, tena bhiroji de. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. Nanak Attenti mat karo, Chinta tis hi hai. jant upayan tinna bhiroji de jal mein jant upayan tinna bhiroji de nanak चिंता मत करो चिंता तिस ही है नानक चिंता मत करो चिंता तिस ही है जिया का हर जी खाना हो करे जिया का हर जी खाना हो करे विच उपाय सारा बिना बिसार करे विच उपाय सारा बिना बिसार करे जल में जंत उपायन बिना भिरोची दे जल में जंत उपायन बिना भिरोची दे नानक चिंता मत करो चिंता तिस ही है 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 नानक चिंता मत करो चिंता तिस ही है
Beautiful. Waheguru.
Waheguru, thank you.
Thank you very much. You released this this Shabad, a recording of this on YouTube, I think just a month or two ago, right?
Yes, I did just
Yeah,
recently.
very beautiful. So composition from Guru Angad. And I can't help but think that he must have been inspired by standing on the river or near the ocean. Something about that made him inspired to write this composition.
For sure.
Yeah. And do you connect to the words in a way, maybe even before a melody connects to a Shabad? What's the process that you like to use for that?
It depends, really. I think it works both ways for me. Sometimes the words will come into my mind if I remember a Shabad, or if I am maybe reading, let's say, whilst I'm doing Part, and I'll connect with that specific Gurbani and I'll think, I really like this. It would be nice to have a composition for it. But I find that the majority of the time, I'm just playing something, and I'm just playing the guitar, playing some chords, and then the shabad will just kind of, it will just come. I just kind of open myself up to it rather than forcing it. So one thing I like to do is I'll use the random shabad generator sometimes as well, like a hukumnama,
Oh, yeah.
and it will just fit. Majority of the time, it will just happen to fit with the beat, the rhythm, the chords, and I'll be
Very
like,
good.
well, thanks God, thanks for that one, because
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know exactly what shabad will fit, and then I'll feel like, oh, this actually has so much meaning to me right now, or this is really relevant. So
The hand of the Guru, even in digital ways.
yes, for sure, Guru
Yeah, that's
speaks to
great.
us in many ways. So.
Yeah. So, for those of you who might not know the work of Taren, I want to direct you all to YouTube, to her channel there, and also Instagram. She's everywhere, actually, on the internet. There almost isn't a place you can go and you won't find Taren.
You have to be
But
now, I think.
she's very prolific in terms of releasing beautiful songs that she writes and also recordings of Gurbani. And a couple of years back, we were, of course, celebrating Guru Gobind Singh's 350th uh, birthday, and there was a big celebration worldwide. And you have released from that time and even later some just beautiful songs capturing some of that history and the meaning behind Guru Gobind Singh's message. Does Guru Gobind Singh have somewhat a stronger pull for you in terms of where you seek out inspiration?
I think there's a considerable pull. I have written quite a few songs actually about Guru Gobind Singh. Do you know? I think about it.
Yeah, For the Greater Good is just an amazing song, and I hope everyone listening will check that out.
For sure, that was a hugely touching one for me. But yeah, I mean, I think just the way that Guru Sahib Ji lived, what they taught, and the message they spread, and just knowing that they're always here. And that goes for any of the Guru Sahiban, but I don't know, I think there's just this kind of love where I think, Guru Gobind Singh Ji is my father, and, I'm always taken care of, like it says in the Shabad. So I feel I do maybe call upon them for guidance quite a bit. So.
Speaking of that, when you recorded the Shabad you played today, was that a Shabad you have had in your back pocket, so to speak, for a while and just recently recorded it, or is it something you were newly inspired because of COVID-19?
Yes, it was newly inspired. I mean, I've heard the Shabad growing up a lot, different recordings of it. But when this whole pandemic started, I too was feeling quite anxious because for me this is something completely new that I've never experienced, as well as many people in the world, but I never really paid attention much when there was other, let's say, viruses, things like SARS and things like bird flu. I wasn't really taking much notice then. This time it's really hitting everybody, and I was feeling anxious and worried for just the state of the world. What's everybody going to do? And I mean, there's obviously nothing that I can do, to save everybody, but I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, how's this going to play out? And just one day, the Shabad, the Pankti, the line, Nanak Attenti mat karo, came into my mind, and I felt eased, I felt calmer, and I noticed myself just remembering that every time I kind of thought, oh no, the news, the death toll's going up, the infections are spreading, and every time I would kind of feel a little bit of tightness inside, those lines would come. So just one day I was just playing chords and it just fit, and I just thought, if it's kind of giving me comfort and some inner peace during this time and allowing me to remember that we are taken care of. If I can try and spread that with other people, perhaps it would provide some solace for somebody else too. So.
Well, indeed, I think that many of your recordings serve in that way. In your own bio, it talks about that you hope to write meaningful songs intending to inspire and connect with listeners across the world, and that seems to be definitely something you have achieved.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. And later on in your bio, it says that you hope that creating a new contemporary style of kirtan will help encourage the youth and a wider audience to connect. So, do you feel that that sense of mission has been with you from early in your childhood, or is it something that just arrived in the last few years for you?
It's been a little while now. I think I was a teenager when I started to do Kirtan, and I mean, I was about 13, I think, when I started writing songs, English songs. I mean, Kirtan's been in my life for my whole life. My dad does Kirtan, and so I've grown up with it. But it didn't become as... I wasn't as kind of involved in it as I was when a bit later in life. And I'd sang different songs and I was enjoying different music, but there was always something missing. So once I started incorporating the Gurbani and singing Kirtan and also writing lyrics which are meaningful and have a kind of, I suppose, a spiritual kind of message, that's when it kind of, everything shifted for me, and I thought, I think this is maybe what I'm here to do. Maybe this is my purpose. And it just kind of solidified more and more. I'm like, yep, this is what I'm here to do on this earth. So.
Well, yeah, it seems like you're doing it, and that's terrific. Some of the programs that you're connected with are just so wonderful. The children's songs that you have done, My Best Friend album,
Yes.
you know, that speaks, I think, probably to a lot of children. That was released a few years back, right? A couple of years,
Yeah,
maybe?
I think about 2 years ago now.
Yeah. And now you're doing this Stay Home and Sing With Me. That
Yes.
came out recently, right?
Yeah, I've been recording a lot of different shabads and just trying to put it out there as much as possible while everybody's at home. So.
Yeah. The animation that you've
Yes.
done, how does that happen? How did you connect with people who could do that with you?
That one I actually made myself. I just felt that there was maybe a need for something of that kind of sort. And I'd kind of created the movement there, composition, and I recorded it. And I was just thinking it would be really cool if there was an animation to go along with this.
Yeah.
So I just spent a little while just learning how to animate, learning how to draw, make the characters, do all of that. And
You did all that yourself?
Yes, with Guru's grace, I managed to pull it
Wow.
off.
Yeah.
Hopefully people like it and children like it. So
I suspect it took more than just a little while to get to that level of expertise. That's great. I had assumed that you spent all your time with the guitar in your hand, so how you had time to put it down to animate, I don't know, but...
one or the other, either the laptop or the guitar. So.
Yeah. And I see that you're also doing ongoing virtual Kirtan programs.
Yes.
And that's probably been a bit of a challenge initially, but are you feeling pretty comfortable with it now?
Yes, it's been weird for me because usually every weekend I'm out connecting with the Sangat, and I love that. I really enjoy that. I look forward to being able to join the Sangat and sing together, and we had to cancel some tours and a lot of programs here, and it was really sad because it was things like Vasaki, and I was really looking forward to celebrating that, because I actually took Amrit myself at Vaisakhi, so it's even more special in a way for me. So I love being in the Sangat for that time. But I'm really, really thankful that we have computers and the internet and technology.
Amazing.
It's been so nice to connect with people from all around the world and just join together from our homes. So I'm really grateful for that, actually.
Do you think you can identify a few musicians who have inspired you?
Sure. Within the Kirtan world or
Anywhere.
both or anywhere? Wow, there's so many. Whenever I'm asked this question, I always think, I hope I don't leave somebody out. But I mean, a huge one would be Snatam Kaur. She's a huge, huge inspiration. I remember seeing her CD in a store and thinking, whoa, there's a Kirtan CD here amongst all these other music.
We seem to be having some audio problems. Can you hear me,
Yes.
Taren? Okay, so we're not hearing you. So we're going to take just a pause here, and I think I'll have to ask you to reconnect. Maybe that will help. So I'll disconnect you, and then you come back. So bear with me. We had a little technical issue there, and we are calling around the world at the moment. So hopefully she will be able to log back in momentarily, and we'll continue our discussion. Oh, I see. Others can hear. Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh, we can hear everything, Jesse says. Okay, well, I apologize. For some reason, my sound cut out. But, yeah, hoping she'll be back. Here she comes. Let's try that again.
Waheguru.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Is mine coming through?
That's very interesting. Okay. You know, it must be on my end. So I'll let you I wanted you just carry on talking a little bit about the musicians
Sure.
who inspire you, and I'll try to figure out my sound.
Okay. I don't know if anyone could let us know in the comments, maybe, if they can hear us. That would be... Okay, I think there's some comments saying they can hear.
Yes, so please go ahead.
Okay. So, yes, Snatham Kaur for one. She's a huge inspiration. And there's many other mantra artists, people like Niranjan Kaur. I think Simrat is amazing also. I love how unique her music is. And then there's a whole bunch of Kirtanis and Ragis from India. There's too many to probably name. I would say there's probably about 10, 15 or more of them who are incredible. So, yes, I think just so many different artists, people like John Mayer. There's just a whole bunch of people who really inspire me, from songwriting to musicianship. So, is the sound okay now? I can't hear you now.
My headphones cut out, and now we've got an echo, so I'm working on that. But I do want to say that I can hear all those musicians in the styling of the way you write your own songs, especially. Yeah, good now. People are saying, okay, well, that's good. So I want to sort of get a feeling from you about how you see this emerging new music within the body of Kirtan, worldwide. That I see this, some of our Western musicians are definitely uh, pioneering new ground. But I'm also seeing now that in the UK community, especially, we're seeing an emergence of a youthful kind of reconnecting to the essence of Sikhi and with a new voice. Do you feel
Yes,
that too?
I do. I think that there is maybe a new wave coming, and people are finding different ways to interpret and, um, I suppose, project their experience of what Gurbani means to them. So, be that through different instruments, people are starting to use more different Western instruments. I know that there's an emergence of more classical music instruments, so
Mhm.
Tanti we would say. And I think people are learning to express themselves in a way that suits them. I think there was a little bit more of a stigma or a kind of feeling of you have to do it like this. This is the only way to do Kirtan, and that's that. But slowly people are kind of going, well, I really like this instrument or I really like this style, so I'm going to sing it that way. And different people connect to it because I always say it's like how we all have different preferences with music. Some people might like rock, they might like folk, rap, classical. And I feel like it's the same kind of way with Kirtan in terms of musically. Everyone has their own kind of spin. Some people do it in a more classical way, some people might have a more of a bluesy, folksy tune. So it just depends what you like, really.
Well, I always used to tell people that I feel like the message of the Guru is too important to isolate into just one narrow style of music, and
For
that
sure.
if it speaks to people in any way, then that's a valid channel for communicating the Guru's Bani, I think. So,
100%. I always say
yeah.
the same thing. It's
And I
the
think that,
Gurbani.
yeah, and then I think you're forming a bridge even, and all the artists that you mentioned also, that there is this understanding that the message, the underlying message of our gurus can be kind of restated in some way in an English song that speaks strongly. And it's not Gurbani. We're not pretending that that is the case, but it's certainly a powerful tool to reach out and build community worldwide. Do you feel like that is something that is accelerating? Do you feel like you can see the more and more growing interest?
I think so. Um, I haven't noticed it so much perhaps in the UK. I think in the USA and maybe Canada maybe as well, there is a bit more of that of using English as a tool, and it's something again that I felt the same like you said. It's a way to connect and to inspire and to teach about Sikhi in a language that maybe people are a little more comfortable with, because English is a lot of people, obviously the generations now, it's their first language. They may not know Gurbani, they may not know Punjabi. So I personally feel it's a way, like you said, a bridge to, I suppose, bring people in and acquaint them with Guru's message and the teachings and the whole message, I suppose, of Gurbani. And then hopefully they'll want to then start maybe learning Gurbani themselves and start listening to Kirtan and doing Kirtan even.
Yeah, I think that's behind a lot of the activity that's happening in the West, is that people who have not yet been introduced to the Guru's Mani um, are finding their way there in various ways. And if music is the way that it happens to bring them, then I think that's a valid expression of realizing that desire. So I commend you. I feel like you are sort of a pioneer,
Right.
especially in the UK. As you mentioned, some of those Western artists, American artists, have been doing some of this for years, but certainly it's very refreshing to see this emerge in the UK. It's great. I feel like there are a lot of programs in the UK community, the Sikh community, that are being initiated by some of the youth that are really inspiring.
Yes.
I think of some of the scholarly work that's being done to really look back at the early history and try to separate it out, separate the reality out from some of the hijacking that was done by the British influence. So I'm really encouraged and very happy to see that happening, and programs like Basics of Sikhi, getting
Yes.
out and talking to people in the street, even to educate people about Sikhi, and not necessarily so that they may become a Sikh, but rather
Yes.
just so that they can understand and embrace the concepts that are there, that are of universality
For sure.
and universal love. So it's so important. Do you feel connected to that movement, and do you feel you have friends who are involved in those other kind of activities?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with what I'm doing with the Kirtan and performing the music, I get to meet a lot of people, and I'm really, again, thankful for that. And I get to connect with different people and, see their thoughts, see what they're doing, and just help to kind of spread that out. And definitely, it's always inspiring and exciting to see how people are creating new things, new ways, developing that prachar, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, like you said, it's not necessarily to make somebody become a Sikh. It's not for that. It's just, I think even now, there's still a lot of people who don't know who Sikhs are. They have no idea. And when you do spread these teachings and you do let them know, well, this is what we believe in. We're all about, love and, oneness and kindness, helping others, selfless service. And we believe, in one God. We believe that everyone's equal and everybody has that light inside them. And people kind of go, I never knew that. I had no idea. And they feel a lot more open in their hearts and a lot more kind of welcoming to Sikhs. And when they see them, there is still some hostility there because people just don't know. So with what people like Basics of Sikhi are doing and other various, I suppose, Sikh scholars and even Kirtanis and singers, is they're managing to kind of spread that out into the world and kind of welcome everyone in as well.
Yeah, and I feel like there's also an acknowledgement that some of the young people are saying, okay, we don't want to just continue with the Gurdwara managements the way it's been. We want to make this more egalitarian, make it more open. I don't remember the name of the program, but you probably will, where people go to people's homes and every time you have to play a new Shabad you've never played before. And it was a group of young people who were going around the UK and
Not
doing
sure.
that. No, it doesn't ring a bell? All right, well, maybe maybe I heard it. And anyway, I'm so delighted that you've been the guest for today's program. I'd like to ask if you would maybe play a couple of minutes of maybe your new song, Carry You.
Sure,
Would
sure.
that be something? So this
Sure,
is
I
a
can.
song that you released just recently, and it's beautiful. And before you start, I just want to ask you, so do you feel like you're singing this song to a specific person, or to your soul, or to everyone?
With this one, it was for various different, it can be interpreted in various different ways, I felt. For me, it was I suppose, a kind of calling out to Guruji, to God, and kind of the message that we would get back, where we feel like we're alone and we feel like we're maybe failing or not doing so great. And it was this kind of voice inside that was kind of like, you know what, don't worry about anything, I'm always with you, I'm always there for you. And I felt that whenever I or anybody kind of is in that situation where you feel really low and you feel like I can't go on anymore, or I'm really struggling, you are still being carried. We're still somehow going about our day, we're going through the motions, things are happening, and it's maybe the power of God and kind of the strength keeping us back up and going, okay, I've got your back, it's okay.
Well, it's very timely, I have to say, that during this time many people feel like they need that support. So
For sure.
anyway, let's enjoy the song Taren Kaur.
Feel like a failure, thinking I'm a fool. Sometimes I don't know why I'm so cruel. Beating up myself when I feel low, even when I know I should let go. When I'm feeling like nobody cares, and that I don't have a place somewhere, I hear a voice inside me say it's not true. If you need to fall, I'll carry you. I'll carry you. I'll carry you. Some days it feels like I'm just stuck, feeling so lost and down on my luck. Everyone says it'll be alright, but some days it's just darkness inside. When I feel surrounded like nobody knows, drowning in a sea of worries, but I don't show. I somehow find myself calling out for you. You're already there. You say don't worry, I'm here, I'll carry you. I'll carry you. I'll carry you. You tell me don't give up, okay? I'll be by your side to stay. Seek within, you'll find the light. I promise things will be alright. I'll carry you.
That was just beautiful and delightful, and your voice is so strong and clear. I can see why people are moved as they listen to your music. So I hope many people will follow your various internet places. And speaking of that, those of you listening, please share this program. Please like us. And I want to just mention that next week our guest will be Daya Singh, or Daya Singh, depending on your choice of pronunciation, from Australia, very well-known Kirtani and world music musician. So he'll be joining us. We're very excited. And I just want to again thank our guest for taking the time to share her music with us and tell us a little bit about her background and her journey down this road with this beautiful music. So thank you again, and next week we'll see you, those of you who are regulars, we'll see you back. Also remember that Tuesdays and Thursdays there is the program Your Miracle Mantra Moment, same time, also on this Facebook page. So thank you, Kirtan, Kaur, for again this beautiful time with you.
Thank you.
We'll say goodbye now. And thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.